Welcome to Risky Business. I'm Kathy Kaler and
I'm Bliss Landon.
And we are the Coverage Queens.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Welcome to our show, our podcast. And we're excited about this episode. We have a really amazing woman that we're going to be speaking to who has her own company. And
she's amazing. Just wait. You'll hear.
We're super excited because it fits into what we're talking about with changes in our lives because of a pandemic, but also, what we've had to learn about different ways of where we go to protect ourselves in this situation. But also, she'll start with her story of what she has been doing. So
what she was doing,
Yeah.
then she had to pivot to do something else, and then she'll go back to doing what she was doing before. And it's just, she's really an amazing woman, very dynamic and high energy, and you'll see.
Yeah.
You'll see.
So we were talking in our last couple of shows about our estate sale weekend.
Oh.
And I was going to say, I'm not going to be able to do sales this weekend.
Because you'll be out of town.
I'll be out of town. But I am going to do a sale where I'm going, which is what is also really cool about, we're talking about tech all the time, is that my app will tell me where there's estate sales in other cities.
Very fun.
So
I'll just
keep
be
you posted.
Sad that I'm not with you, tagging along.
I would be so sad.
Checking out the carpet.
Exactly. Anyway. All right. Well, let's introduce.
Yes.
Robin Shaw, who is from Upstaging, is with us. She'll be joining us to tell us about her journey and her story about what she's done with her company and what she's doing now. So Robin, welcome.
Hi, Robin.
Hello, and thank you for having me on your podcast. I'm excited, and I look forward to all your questions.
Well, we're excited to have you. And from Bliss telling me about a little bit about what you were doing and what you, I assume, are kind of gearing up to do again. But share Upstaging. What's that all about?
Okay, Upstaging is one of the top touring production companies in the world, actually. We do stage lighting and transportation, video, and set design for major touring clients such as Paul McCartney, Rolling Stones, Billie Eilish, Kenny Chesney, there's the Foo Fighters. So yeah,
holy cow.
we don't necessarily do everything for every client. Sometimes we do, trucking. Most of our biggest portion is doing trucking because we have the capacity to do more bands with that. And then sometimes we'll do trucking and lighting. Usually we do them both together.
What does that mean, trucking?
Trucking means, transportation. When the 18-wheelers, the big trucks that you see driving all over the road, let's say somebody like Taylor Swift may have 50 trucks, and wherever she goes, we're transporting all of her equipment, everything from her rigging and lighting and set and sound and video and wardrobe in the truck. So
you go and pick up the items that she's going to need for her show, and you deliver them. Okay.
Right. Correct. Well, it's more than just delivering them. It's going from one show to the next. So if you go, let's say you go to a Rolling Stone show, and what you see in Los Angeles at the stadium, all of that takes about 3 or 4 days to put up and about a day to take down. And it goes in the trucks, and then maybe 2 days later, it'll be starting to do Oakland Coliseum or, go to another city. So everything that you're seeing pretty much in Los Angeles will be done in another city. Right. So we have lead truck drivers, because as you can imagine, the logistics of doing that in time is difficult. So, we run roughly around 300 trucks.
Wow.
It's a fabulous position. If there's, I know this is mostly women, and women truck drivers are great. So it's just a different type of position for them. So that's our transportation. When I say transportation, that's what I mean. I could say trucking, but transportation seems to be
What kind of lead time is that? I would imagine, the lead time that you need. I mean, concerts are set up years in advance. are you doing that now for hopefully the
For
coming
2022?
back?
Yeah.
That's actually right. In fact, I've been on more meetings. I've been waiting for all these meetings to start. And, now that people are getting vaccinated, everything's starting to ramp up. Mostly all the big tours are going to be ramping up for 2022.
Okay.
I wish things would ramp up for 2021 because 2019, we have been busy for the last 10 years. Like we have more demand than supply.
Mhm.
So, if you're not a client of ours, or like, and that's could be anywhere from the manager, it could be the
Mhm.
artist, it could be the production manager, it could be the promoter. It's hard for us to take on new clients. We'd like to, but it's difficult because sometimes we don't have the availability. I mean, if I was in a perfect world of how this gets figured out, everybody would do it on a matrix. So when one tour ends, another tour could start.
Right.
But the production is kind of the last thing on the totem pole. First, it's the artist wanting to go out, then the agents looking for the dates. And those are also difficult because you're competing with, if it's stadiums, with football and different
Oh,
other
yeah.
events in there. And if you're an arena, you're competing with basketball.
Mhm.
So you have to find availability. And then once that happens, then we get called. And for the lighting, it's again, we have to have a relationship with the same people that I discussed there, plus the lighting designer.
Mhm.
And so the
Wow.
lighting designer will have a concept of what the show is going to look like. And then we start discussing it and putting costs together and seeing if we need to change anything. And yeah, it's a long process.
I would
Wow.
say it's tremendous,
Yeah,
tremendously
no, it's
long.
it's pretty amazing. It's funny, since I've been on all these phone calls. The one thing, a lot of people, I've been to parties where I've been with, people that are in finance business, and I'll be at their parties and somebody will come up to me and say, "Hi, how are you? Who are you?" And I said, "Robin." They go, "Robin, oh, you're their rock and roll friend." And here I'm thinking, you're exchanging money with Russia. You know what I mean? You're exchanging, billions of dollars in funds, AB.
Right.
And the funny thing is, I ask people if they like their job, and a lot of people go, "Yeah, I like my job." Okay, I love what I do, and probably the most important thing that is great about my industry is everybody has to be very, very count onable and smart. Because let's say you bought tickets to go see Kenny Chesney, okay, and you got a babysitter, and you're going with friends. If we at the transportation end are together and getting everything happening, the show may not go on. So there's a lot of stress. We have, in our trucking division, we have 7 dispatchers and people that just deal with what happens if a truck goes down, or
Weather.
somebody gets sick, somebody's parents are ill. It's just a constant. That's why we have
Jeez.
7 people dealing with that. And then with the lighting end of it, yeah, there's a lot of lead time. I mean, there's not a lot of lead time, but it is trying to, figure out what the design is. It's a very collaborative business.
Yeah. Do you
Amazing.
own the trucks or do you
Yeah,
contract
we own the
out?
trucks.
You
We own
own
the
the
trucks,
trucks.
and the
Okay.
drivers are our employees.
Interesting. Wow.
And for the pandemic, it's been good that we own the trucks. But the one thing I want to say about our business in general, it's very collaborative. And I would say most of my friends, most of the people I work with, are people I would easily have over for dinner. And some of the
That's great.
people that I work with, I vacationed with, as they had children, and our children know each other. So some of these people I've known since the 80s.
Wow.
Wow.
Such a
That's
special,
fantastic.
special family. Well, Robin, you were saying 10 years. What was I mean, if you have like a top 3 of your favorite shows, like, or your favorite artists, do you work repetitively with them, or do you have some
Yeah.
favorites?
Generally, we work repetitively with all our artists. Occasionally, for a few years back on lighting, and it still happens, it may be that somebody is designing something, and we may have worked with them last time,
Mhm.
but they're designing equipment that we either don't have, or our capacity isn't there, or we don't. Yeah, that's basically it. That's basically, the capacity isn't there, or they don't have the exact equipment that they want, and so they may use another company. So, but it doesn't matter. And usually we'll keep the trucking end on that. You're asking what are my 3 top shows?
Yeah, that you love.
Yeah,
Like,
that have been fun and interesting and,
Okay, I don't know that I could
over the
name.
top design. I don't know. That
Okay,
was
okay,
really fun.
okay. I can tell you what I like about the shows. Okay, if we're looking at it, I mean, it's so difficult to say because look at the artists that I've mentioned so far,
Yeah.
and I don't know how I could pick a
a
Billie
favorite.
Eilish, right? A Billie Eilish over a Foo Fighters,
Yeah,
and
because
they're
they're all
totally different.
fantastic, right? Yeah.
Right, they're
Yeah.
all interesting.
Mhm.
I will say for an outdoor collaborative experience with the audience, Coldplay is really good at making you feel you're part of the concert.
Wow.
Okay, in a stadium, so they
Mhm.
make it feel intimate. Oh my God! I mean, I couldn't say Paul McCartney is Paul McCartney.
Right.
Okay, so just
Yeah.
Paul McCartney singing his songs. Um, Billie Eilish is so interesting. So was Lord. Um,
Wow.
I can't name top
You
3.
got a
I'm
lot. You got
sorry,
a
I wish I
lot.
could.
So
I
what
wish I could.
happened, Robin, last year when we all took, the left turn down a very scary road and everything changed and clearly your business concerts were just done. I mean, I had tickets to Justin Bieber. I'm devastated. I'm a huge Bieber fan.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened?
Well, it was scary. In January we started watching all of this stuff. And hold on, I'm just looking up something really quick. January we started working on all this stuff, and it started. We had the cruise ship. You could see all that stuff going on.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I started buying tons of hand sanitizer and stuff for our office, which of course I didn't need. And we had tours out. Billie Eilish was starting up. I think it might have been March 10th.
Mm.
Oh
Okay,
my
March
gosh.
10th, in Miami, and then I think she did Orlando. We had a maybe 3 or 4 things out that were getting done, close to being finished, and everybody else that we had lined up. Once May hits, everybody starts going out on tour,
Mm.
and
Right.
everybody was sitting there saying, "We don't know, we don't know, we don't know." And then on March 12th, we were, basically live entertainment was officially canceled. It
Right.
was right
Right.
before the shutdown. And then on Friday, I call it Friday the 13th, we got together in our company and had about 30 people that were, that were, in managerial positions and not. Okay, because we wanted to hear from everybody. And we started to just sort of think about what do we have in our shop and what can we do to help. Now, because we build sets, we have all the machinery to cut things and build sets. And we had a lot of what's called polycarbonate, which a lot of people think of as like plastic or plexiglass, but it's a little bit different. It's a higher grade. And the one thing that everybody needed, if you remember during the crisis in March, was PPE, face shield.
Right. Face
Right.
shields. Mhm.
So we started making face shields, and we had a prototype. That was Friday. By Monday, we had a prototype ready. Now,
Wow.
some people go, how could you have done it that fast? But you realize in our industry,
Yeah, you can.
that's how we operate. I
Right.
could get a call from a client on a Thursday at noon and say, we need to have this built and we need it here by Friday at 6. Okay.
You
And
gotta
that
do
means,
it.
yeah, exactly. The no word is not in our vocabulary.
Just say, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, right. And then we figure it out, and then maybe we'll call somebody up and say, hey, we can't do it for Friday, but it'll be there Saturday,
Mhm.
or something like that. But there is no
You're getting it done.
how do we figure it out? Yeah, and we're good at that. We're trained to do that. We've been doing it for 40 years. So Monday we had a prototype, and by that following week we had probably sold 40,000 of them.
Now,
Wow.
who did you sell them to?
Okay, well, we also, what we did was we wanted to keep our main purpose was doing the right thing because we could do this and this was needed. And the other thing was we wanted to keep all our people working because we didn't know, at that time it was like, well, maybe, okay, everything was pushed back or postponed until summer.
Right. Right.
Remember during the early days, yeah, this is going to be done quickly and
Right.
it's going to pass through us and we'll be done. So we had a lot of staff and we wanted to keep them working. So what we did was a lot of our people that do sales, or they're not even sales, they're more client reps for the artists. We were making cold calls. We became cold callers. We would look up lists. We started with our company's based in Sycamore, which is a suburb of Chicago. I'm here in Los Angeles with my team, but we deal with the managers and the artists and the agents. So that's why we're in Los Angeles. And we started with local hospitals. We started with nursing homes because if you
Wow.
remember,
Yeah.
yeah, we tried the government route and found it to be it was a completely blocked process. We filled out all the forms, we took all the time, but for everybody being in such emergency, we couldn't, I
Couldn't
would be
wait. You really couldn't
right,
wait.
right, couldn't wait. And I had contacts because I'm part of WPO and all sorts of different organizations where somebody knows somebody high in the food chain.
Right.
So I would
right.
get to the right people and give them the pitch. They'd say they were interested. I'd fill out the forms and couldn't get anything happening because at that point, nobody knew who was going to pay for it. Everybody was waiting for product to come from China, and all you could see on the news is how everybody didn't have it. So we decided to just do it in the private industry, dentist office, medical centers,
Amazing.
hospitals, and nursing homes at that time were our biggest. We go to nursing homes and, they would say, do you have them now? Because we could make so many of them in a short period of time because it was just us.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
So we did that. And then as the pandemic changed and moved along, we went into making desk shields for students, children's face shields for the summertime last year that were going to camp and such. We were doing desk shields for either people that were at work or doctor's offices where now the receptionist was enclosed. We would do for companies that were still open and banks and courthouses. We would custom build and go in and do all that. And the thing that probably distinguished us out from any other company is you had highly skilled people doing this because these are people that are building a set for I don't know, Thomas Rhett. Okay, and when you're building a set for an artist to show on the stage every night and then move into a truck and go back to another thing, the quality
has to be perfect.
Yeah, it has to be perfect. So
Wow.
people were getting, we weren't getting, this was not stuff coming from another country.
And Robin, explain the difference between the plexiglass and the polycarbonate that you use.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's good because nobody really knows. It's really funny because even when you hear all the news bleeps, everybody talks about plexiglass.
Right.
Plexiglass breaks. Okay. First of all, it burns easily in a fire. Okay. And then secondly, it cracks and it breaks. Like if you throw a ball around it, it's going to crack. Or if you just somehow crack the edge of it and then it's hard and sharpened.
I'd say, is it sharp? You could cut yourself on it.
You could cut yourself. Whereas polycarbonate, we have something on our website that actually shows the difference. We have, someone in our shop, breaking a piece of plexiglass very easily and then taking polycarbonate and twisting it and you can't break it. So that's the big advantage, but it's more expensive.
How much more expensive would you say?
I don't really know. Somebody else would know, but we had to go through a lot of learning curve in the beginning. For general consumption, we were probably a little bit expensive because it cost us much more to make it, but we had it available. Okay. And then as all of the product that came in from overseas, we had to figure out like, what can we charge, and right now we're selling them. Our prices are completely competitive, but it's still very hard to break into. Schools in the beginning, we had a lot of success with pretty much everywhere. California's been a hard school system to break into in general, all the California, but especially LA.
Yeah.
And we've tried, but we've probably sold maybe 200,000 of the children's desk shields, which are really great, and teachers' desk shields, maybe even more, to pretty much everywhere all over the country. And we would do email blasts. We didn't know how to do this. We've been a company. We were a company that you came to us because you wanted us. We got that after 40 years of doing business,
Right,
that it
right.
hasn't been, for 10, 15 years, we've never had to really go out and look for work.
business,
We had
yeah.
to be more delicate in figuring out who do we turn down and who do we do, because no matter what, to keep the consistency of our quality, we can only take on so much.
Right, right.
And our company policy has always been, and people used to laugh and say, we're the company that will say no to business, because we don't want to have the risk of, putting people out there that aren't qualified, or being out there and not doing a good job. So when
Right.
it's super busy, we'd rather have another company go out there and not do a good job.
So, Robin, what do you see coming, as we're hopefully coming to an end? Do you see doing both
Um, we
right now?
don't know yet. I would like to. We just have to see. It's weird. I'm surprised now. People keep changing. Now you can be
Yeah.
3 feet apart inside instead of 6 feet for
Right.
school. I think, quite honestly, I was shocked that our face shields. I thought they were going to be the invention of the century. Me alone. I really did, because
Yeah.
they're almost the same as a face mask, but you can see and talk, and you can make them nice.
Yeah.
I wear mine all the time, but it ended up being you needed to have a face mask.
A face
Right,
mask
right.
underneath.
For the face shields. Yeah. In the beginning, we tried to point out the difference, but once the CDC said face masks, face shields were not really popular. I think they will become popular again, because people will want to have protection without having their face covered. But I see sorry, I'm a talkie, and I'm passionate about what I do.
That's
okay.
amazing.
No,
I
keep
love
going.
it.
Keep going.
Yeah. So I'm in constant talks now. I've never been so busy. Like in the beginning of the pandemic, I was busy transitioning and pivoting our company, and then a lot of other people were taking off. And my role has generally been keeping in touch with what's going to happen when we start up again.
Mhm.
Okay, which now there's a lot of hope. 2022 is going to be so busy that I'm actually going, oh my gosh, because we have to find the employees and figure out that. We have to figure out what the cost of, all the costs are changed a little bit. So
Yes.
every way we've done business in the past will probably be a little different, only in the costing. And you might say, well, everybody's going to be trying to save money. But, the big tours, the Coldplays, the Beyoncés, the Paul McCartneys, the Rolling Stones, the Kenny Chesneys, they all want to put on a great show
Of course.
Sure.
for everybody, and they can afford to. And so can a lot of artists. So,
Well, something came to mind while you were talking.
Yeah, me too,
Robin,
but you go first.
you're in a business where a concert brings in thousands, and
Mhm.
those thousands are always shoulder to shoulder, if not back to
Mhm.
back, and then we have this pandemic where we're needing to be apart from each other.
Right.
And then you become involved with creating a safety device.
Correct.
So they
Several safety
almost
devices.
several, but it almost seems to be that they could streamline together, is that is the way concerts moving forward, to keep these masses of people protected, that becomes like the wristband. The wristband when you go in.
Well, yeah, like you incorporate,
You now.
the safety.
We want you all to be here. We
Yeah.
want you to be together. We want you to feel the energy. We want to have this amazing concert, but we're also going to keep you safe.
Okay. Yes. That's been discussed. Okay. No. The whole year, that's all we discussed.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
everything that we
amazing.
discussed, from tracking and tracing and testing, all of that probably is going out the door with the vaccines. Okay. I think it's, outdoor venues. There used to be these things called amphitheater or sheds, which are outdoor venues. Irvine Amphitheater had one.
Mhm.
I don't know what else they have in California, and the Hollywood Bowl.
Bowl.
So you're
Oh,
outside.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Where there you can block off seats and you're outdoors. Okay.
Right.
Because you're sitting in seats. And maybe in arenas, you can also block off seats. Okay. And hopefully, but you know what? When you're at a concert, everybody's standing.
And
Even if
singing
you
and
say you,
Mhm.
yeah, you have to wear a mask. I think it's very difficult to enforce it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
then you add a little alcohol to the thing. I mean, the few times
That's true. I
I've
forgot
Oh,
about that.
yes.
right. No, no,
The
no. Hey,
alcohol.
listen,
It's
how
true.
many of us have had a glass of wine or two with friends outside socially distanced and then we're moving in closer?
Of course.
Okay.
Right, right.
And
Of
I'm
course.
I'm a smart, wise adult, right? That doesn't want to get COVID, but a couple of glasses of wine, I'm like, closer, so you add that and then you add an age factor. I think it's difficult. So we're all trying to work on that. I don't think anybody has come to a solution yet.
Have the people asked you for safety measures for those types of things for 2022?
We all started it. A lot of talk has been in the AC systems
Oh, okay.
and, changing those, even with
Uh-huh.
schools. What people are finding out that ventilation is everything,
Right,
but also
right,
ventilation is extremely costly. Like
right.
even the smaller venues that might have opened up earlier to put in a new ventilation system and then have half capacity. The other thing that has to be realized is that at a smaller capacity, the financial metrics may not work.
Right.
Wow.
Okay. So, if you're having, a half the amount of people in the venue, how does that work financially? We're all right now, just now that we know, because we've been through this many times. I can't tell you how many times I've had people say, we're going to go out in September that last year. Okay. And then, no, definitely March, April. And now it's June to July. And then I've been told anything that's June or July will probably be September, but that's for sure.
Well, that is perfect because we will want you to come back in September
And tell us how it's
tell
going.
us what is
Yeah.
Right.
happening.
Yes.
But I honestly think all the big stuff will be in 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I hope that things start to open up though.
I
I
do too.
miss live music. My son's a
Oh.
singer and I miss the live,
yeah.
just anybody. I'll watch
Exactly.
anyone. And then, getting to concerts. And I saw on the news the other day that they may be postponing or eliminating Coachella again, which, that's might be a good idea. I don't know. I've never been to it, but I know there's a lot of people there.
Yes.
Have you ever done
There's a
Coachella?
lot of people. Yeah, I think nobody knows. You know what?
Yeah.
I think come April and May, when we figure out how many people have been vaccinated, and once they open it up to everybody, then I think more people will know.
Yeah.
I really do. And yeah, I miss it too. I mean, the funny thing is, I'm now having dreams of, like, it used to be you'd have dreams, your dreams would be weird. I'm having dreams of actually real life. Okay. Like, and the first dream was kind of weird because I was at a concert and I was on an airplane going to a concert. And when I got to the concert, I had my mask, but I realized nobody else was wearing masks. And I panicked. I was so panicked about it that I said, "Wake up, Robin." And I did.
Oh my
And now
gosh.
I'm just having, different dreams about being at a U2 concert, or a Billie Eilish concert. I love what I do, and what I do is very creative.
Yeah. So
being
So
fun.
you
part of
made it.
being part of the process at the beginning, and then seeing what it's like on
Must be
stage,
incredible.
right? And then all the joy. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm lucky to be
Yeah.
in a business that brings a lot of joy to people.
Right.
Well, we
right.
will be looking for that. We're going to look for that joy soon. What's a good website for us to share? Tell us your website.
Please. It's www.upstaging, upstaging.com.
Fabulous.
And right now you'll go on it. It will give you all of our safety barrier products. Please buy from our company because it helps keep us alive for when the concert industry starts.
Great
It's
time.
mostly about, it pays for our people. Okay.
Right.
And I don't want the people to go off and get another job. And then when everybody starts up, we don't have the personnel we need to be able to do these tours.
Well,
Right.
Robin,
And that's probably the biggest
we
thing.
will spread the word on that. Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for spending some time with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Robin. I'll see you tonight, right? tonight.
I'll see you tonight at
we,
5.
we have our
Oh, there you
Zoom
go.
call for WPO. Okay, I'll see you
Wonderful.
later. And thank you so much for coming on our show. We really, really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Are we still being recorded or?
We're going to finish up and then we'll come back.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I should wait, right?
Wait for us.
So interesting.
Isn't it?
I really, really think
Yeah.
that tie-in is, it's a fascinating thing.
Absolutely. And I just love hearing her story and then just how they pivoted
Yeah.
and then what she's doing with the PPE. It's really important. And who knows how long we're going to need that stuff.
Well,
And it may last far beyond, businesses, maybe just to add, like we were talking about before we interviewed her, that grocery stores have them now. And, because there's so many people that a grocery store
is seen.
yeah, the cashier, they see so many a day that it gives them that feeling of protection, which is really crucial.
Well, and I think too, it's also being able to know where it's coming from, how it was made, what it was made with. It's made in this country. We're supporting other people who
Absolutely.
work here. Super important. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us here at Risky Business. Great topic, very interesting and very timely for what's going on right now, because all of this is part of this whole community life that we are living. And the more we know, the better we can share and just be educated.
Absolutely.
So
many topics.
So many
to
topics.
cover.
We look forward to you on a next episode of Risky Business. I'm Kathy Kaler.
And I'm Bliss Landon. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.